How we doing, guys? It's Coach Alex from Maximize Potential coming at you with a great Mobility Monday. Today we're talking about plantar fasciitis. I'm going to go over exactly what that is and give us a couple of different ways to knock it out in no time. But before we get into that, the new fall gear is finally here. We've got sweaters, we've got sweatpants, we've got beanies, and we've got a good assortment of hoodies. From now until Thanksgiving, we've got 20% off on a lot of these items, so go ahead and grab some of these while the deals are still on. I'm going to go ahead and leave a link down in the comments below. Today we're talking about that pesky pain at the bottom of your heel, plantar fasciitis. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. Did you know that when you put on comfortable shoes, you're turning off about 40 different muscles in the foot and ankle? When we turn these muscles off for an extended period of time, we actually lose an okay amount of that neuromuscular connection, or our ability to control them voluntarily. Now, when we don't have proper control over these muscles, we actually have chronic tightening that sets in, which then leads to atrophy of those muscles. Now, due to these severe weaknesses, we may experience some balancing issues. This usually will start with pain in either the bottom of the foot or the heel. Now, while it may feel like inflammation, it is associated with a degenerative problem that usually involves the tissues that are connected between the toes and the heel bone. Plantar fasciitis happens a lot with runners and people who have flat feet, high arches, who are overweight, or may just be on their feet a lot. Now, if you've been following Mobility Monday for a couple of months now, or you're just already kind of into mobility, you should know the proper sequence that goes into fixing some of these issues. So, first we're gonna roll, then we're gonna stretch, and then we're gonna strengthen. So let's take it out to the gym and I'll show us exactly what we're getting into. All right, we're gonna go ahead and start with a roll. So we're starting by releasing some of the fascia that's in the bottom of the foot. This is a plantar fascia. So we're gonna take a ball. Of course, we're gonna wanna go ahead and pop our shoes up here. So pretty easy here. Really the only rules that we're trying to follow here is staying off of the bone. Remember, we don't wanna be directly on any bone, but we can use it as a guide. So stepping lightly on the ball, we're gonna slowly apply pressure till we find a couple of areas of tenderness. Again, we don't wanna be on the bone, so stay away from the ridge there, but we do wanna be kind of close to the edge there. Now, once I find something that's a little bit tender, I'm gonna put a little bit of extra pressure into here, and we're gonna sit here for about 20 to 30 seconds, and you should feel that pressure kind of dissipate. Now, we wanna find a couple of different places. The normal rule that I like to give is gonna be about 2 minutes on each side. So let's go ahead and find about 3 spots per foot. We'll spend about 20, maybe 30 seconds or so per spot, and that should round up to about 90 seconds to about 2 minutes or so per foot. All right, the next one that we're gonna get into is gonna be the calves. So that calf muscle pulls really tight on that Achilles tendon, so we're gonna wanna take a little bit of tension off of that. So the way that we're gonna do that is gonna be releasing the calves. So again, taking that lacrosse ball, if you don't have a lacrosse ball at home, something small like a can of soup, or maybe even a frozen water bottle can work just as well. So we're gonna put a little bit of pressure just lightly on here. If this is not enough pressure for you, you can go ahead and cross that other foot over that shin. Should put a little bit of extra pressure in there. Now that calf is made up of 2 different muscles. We're gonna go ahead and stretch both of those here afterwards. But that top portion, that gastrocnemius, is gonna be our main focus for right now. We're gonna spend about a minute here. Same rules apply. Once we find a spot that's a little tender, go ahead and sit on it. A little bit of extra pressure, 20 to 30 seconds until that dissipates. Once we get a couple of spots in this top portion, we're gonna go on down towards the soleus. Now remember, we don't want to be on any bone, so watch out for that heel. And then we also don't want to roll directly on that Achilles tendon. So working our way around the soleus, we should find a couple of spots. Once we get one, 20 to 30 seconds. Like I said, we'll be here for about 2 minutes on each side. Now that we've rolled and released some of these areas, we're going to get into a stretch. So this is going to be a calf stretch. It's a 2-parter. Like I just mentioned, we have that gastrocnemius at the top, and then we've got the soleus at the bottom of the calf. This is going to be 2 different stretches, but very similar positions. So we're going to go ahead and take 1 foot back. Now the one that we're going to be stretching is going to be this back foot over here. Now, trying to maintain that heel flat on the ground, we're going to keep this back leg as straight as we can as we lean forward. Now we're leaning as far as we can, making the angle in the front of the ankle as small as we can without raising that heel. So again, keeping this heel nice and planted. This should be getting into that gastrocnemius, again being at the top of the calf. We're gonna hold this for about 30 seconds or so. After 30 seconds passes, we're gonna take a small baby step forward with that back foot and introduce a bend to that knee. Again, I'm maintaining the heel flat on the ground. You should feel that stretch travel down that calf towards the soleus, maybe even a little bit into that Achilles tendon. Again, we're gonna be holding this for about 30 seconds, It'll be about a total of 1 minute per calf. We just got into some releases. We should be nice and stretched out now. Now we're gonna get into our strengthening. As I mentioned earlier, a lot of this is caused by some weakening in those intrinsic muscles on the bottom of the foot. So we have to strengthen these muscles in order to kind of simulate regaining that arch back. All right, what we're gonna do is gonna place a dirty towel down on the ground. We're gonna have our feet on it, so the dirtier probably the better. But we're gonna go ahead and scrunch our feet so that big toe towards the heel here as we kind of grip that towel. Now what we're doing is we're recreating the arch in that foot as we squeeze and contract those muscles on the bottom of the foot. Now we should get about 4, maybe 5 good curls here with the foot. You're just gonna take this out, extend it out again, and curl it back up. So like I said, we should get about 5 or so per towel or per towel length. So let's go ahead and go 3 sets of 3 towel lengths, or 15 or so curls here. All right, this last exercise is gonna be Vele's forward lean. Now, with the forward lean, I would recommend having a wall out in front of us. Not necessarily that we're gonna fall, but it is gonna feel like you are. So, just to have something kind of tactile in front of us, we're gonna have our feet directly below our hips here. Now, this is gonna be important. We wanna spread the toes out and make sure that we have full coverage with our feet onto the ground. Now that we're here, we're gonna lean forward, and you should naturally grip the ground. And we're gonna hold this here. This is gonna be an isometric hold. We're gonna hold for about 10 seconds or so, and then slowly release. Again, with that wall in front of us, just in case we need something a little tactile, we're gonna go again, lean forward, and we should naturally grip the ground. Again, I'm recreating the arch from big toe to heel here, and relaxing here. You should feel a little bit of a tightness at the bottom of the foot here, but again, don't worry, it is not due to that fasciitis. It is gonna be most of those muscles working. So we're gonna go 3 sets of 5 10-second holds on each side. Anyway, y'all, that's about it for us today. Hope we learned something new. Go ahead and try some of these out at home if you have some of these issues, and even if you don't, it's never gonna hurt to strengthen out that arch. Don't forget, we've got 20% off on a lot of this fall gear. It's never been easier to stay warm, stay stylish, and still be getting your gains. So go ahead and grab some stuff while those deals are still on. But remember, y'all, this is always a conversation, so go ahead, leave a like, comment down below something that you learned, any questions that you may have, or suggestions for future content that you wanna see. But other than that, I'm Coach Alex. Y'all be good, drink some water, and I'll see y'all in the next one.